A proposed student housing project in Fayetteville will not be moving forward. City Council considered a rezoning request tonight that would have cleared the way for this development. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer joining us now. And Lauren, you spoke with a couple of folks there who said this could have driven them out of town.
Yeah, Darren, ultimately the measure failed 5-1. The proposed complex would have sat near West Center Street and North University Avenue, replacing 2 existing apartment buildings. While the city worked with the developer to create a lease termination agreement and the first of its kind developer's commitment, offering tenants $10,000 and access to below market units, many residents say that still doesn't make up for losing their homes. Mason Moats has barely unpacked his moving boxes at the flats on the hill.
I really like the community. There's a lot of nature around here, so if you're from a smaller town, it makes you feel a little more welcomed.
But he got a letter saying he might have to vacate, which kept those boxes sealed for now.
It does feel like we're getting paid to be pushed out of Fayetteville. And I think it's kind of sad because it is tearing apart a community.
The company Core Spaces wanted to rezone the area to Main Street Center to build a new student housing complex called The Hub. Pinpoint owner Bo Counts has lived at Beverly Manor since 2017.
I am very much a downtown resident, and being able to have a place like that that fits my needs is precious.
Counts says this isn't just about housing, but access to downtown jobs, transportation, and community.
And the more of these that come in, it displaces people like me and people like my employees. They make it harder for us to get to work and harder for us to shop and spend local.
Under an agreement with the city, Core Spaces offered several concessions. 37 units reserved for low to moderate income renters, guaranteed for 10 years. Plus, each tenant with a current lease would get $10,000 in relocation support and a right of first offer to return to the new complex once it's built.
And the offer to move back in 2.5 years, what are we supposed to do? Like, wait outside in a tent?
But Count says that still leaves a lot on tenants' shoulders, and it wasn't enough.
We desperately need 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. We need form-based code reform in our downtown building codes. We need these tools so that we can find the right developments that we need downtown.
City Council members say they had several concerns about losing the neighborhood's character and loss of historic buildings, but some did like the idea of the developer's commitment for further projects. The developer didn't have any comments after tonight's vote, but he said the company is interested in Fayetteville and would look at other options. Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
All right, Lauren, thanks. For years, you've had to pay to park in downtown Fort Smith, but not any longer. Fort Smith City directors tonight gave final approval to a plan to remove parking meters in a majority of the downtown area. The idea of removing the meters has been kicked around for the last couple of years, and as part of a trial run, it's been free to park since the beginning of this year.
It was a journey I encouraged us to go on coming up on 2 years ago, and I know that there was questions, but it was always an honest process that everybody brought to the table to assess, real world outcomes from this. This is it's a big deal, and it's a big change to how business is done downtown.
The only exception will be the parking spots surrounding the Sebastian County Courthouse. The county will maintain those meters that remain there. New information tonight coming out of the district attorney's office in Sequoyah County about a deadly drunk driving accident that took place early Sunday morning. Police say 20-year-old Cambry Wright allegedly hit it and killed a man while driving the wrong way on I-40 near Sallisaw. Wright was first charged with an underage DUI, but that has been upgraded to manslaughter after more evidence was made available to prosecutors. District Attorney Jack Thorpe noted that Wright is the daughter of a current Sequoyah County Sheriff's deputy, but emphasized the relationship played no part in this investigation.
The Sequoyah County Sheriff's Office is not necessarily involved in any of the formal aspects of the investigation. And certainly that's not any factor that we will consider when we are working the case or working toward a disposition in the case.
Wright was able to bond out of jail on a lower DWI charge, but Thorpe says the amount of her bond will increase now that she has been charged with manslaughter. If she is found guilty, Wright could face life in prison. A new lawsuit filed by an investor in a proposed theme park and resort in East Oklahoma. Gene Bucknell alleges 3 people at the American Heartland theme park and resort in Veneta, Oklahoma, defrauded him out of more than $60 million. His lawyers say the 3 operated a criminal enterprise to defraud the 91-year-old man. The defendants also allegedly pretended to be God in text messages, commanding Bucknell to invest in this theme park. Texas Governor Greg Abbott asking the state's highest court now to kick one Democrat lawmaker out of office. This course all comes amid the Texas GOP's effort to vote on a new congressional district map. Today, the governor filed an emergency petition with the Texas Supreme Court to remove Representative Gene Wu, calling him a ringleader in what the governor says was an effort to block the vote on redistricting. Governor and other Republicans want to redraw the state's congressional lines to make 5 U.S. House seats more favorable for the GOP in next year's midterm elections. On Sunday, more than 50 Democrats left the state to keep the House from having enough lawmakers to vote on this measure. In a statement, Wu defended the decision to leave the state, saying he is serving his constituents. Governor Abbott says that's a willful abandonment of duty and claims some lawmakers have been accepting bribes to avoid voting. He is now asking for their seats to be declared vacant so special elections can be held. The Texas Supreme Court has been asked to rule by Thursday. No word yet on whether those Democrats plan to return back to the state. A week-long manhunt has ended after a man accused of killing 4 people and evading Tennessee authorities for a week is now behind bars. The chilling case came to light when a baby girl was found abandoned but alive last Tuesday. Cheryl Hubbard tells us investigators found her parents, her grandmother, and uncle dead nearly 40 miles away.
A game of cat and mouse is over after law enforcement officials say quadruple murder suspect Austin Robert Drummond was taken into custody in Jackson, Tennessee. Officers say residents spotted Drummond in the woods.
Every door that we opened, every structure we checked, we didn't know if Drummond was going to be behind there.
Authorities have accused the 28-year-old of killing 4 relatives of a baby found abandoned. The bodies of the 4 victims were found July 29th in Tiptonville in northwest Tennessee.
Courtney Rose, Adriana Williams, Braden Williams, James Matthew Wilson. Their names deserve to be spoken. Their lives deserve to be remembered, and their families deserve justice.
The child was earlier found 40 miles away, shortly after being abandoned on a day when the heat index hit 116 degrees.
We're glad to report the baby is healthy and doing well.
Law enforcement thanked the public for reporting sightings of Drummond. Surveillance video captured over the weekend shows Drummond walking around a community church in Jackson, attempting to open multiple doors, police there said. 2 vehicles linked to Drummond had also been recovered.
He thought he could outrun us, but he was wrong. That's because together we cannot be stopped.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
Drummond is facing charges including murder, kidnapping, and multiple firearms offenses. Investigators have not revealed the motive for the crimes, but believe the suspect knew the victims. The U.S. Coast Guard releasing its findings on the Titan submersible, which imploded during a June 2023 dive to the Titanic. It killed 5 people. According to the report, the deaths were, quote, preventable, and responsibility for the implosion lays largely at the feet of OceanGate, the operator of the Titan. Coast Guard describes a, quote, toxic workplace culture, as well as an inadequate design, certification, maintenance, and inspection process. Report also details efforts to avoid regulatory scrutiny.
He said I would buy a congressman and make basically the problems would go away.
According to the report, it took more than 7 hours for authorities to be notified the Titan was missing. 4 days later, the wreckage was found. Investigators laying out a dozen reasons for the disaster, including a failure to investigate after significant damage to the carbon fiber hull during previous dives. Coast Guard says OceanGate CEO and pilot of the Titan, Stockton Rush, may have been subject to criminal liability if he had survived. The Tonny Town Grape Festival began the annual event today. It's the 126th year for the annual event. Festivities today included carnival rides, a grape stomp, 2 live performances. There will also be live performances every night this week. Organizers say 100% of the proceeds will go to the local St. Joseph's Church. Grape Fest goes all this week. It ends on Saturday. Parking and admission absolutely free.